All right, folks, here we go again. Somehow this little hokey Halloween show has made it to episode 4. Can you believe that? I am Tom Hutchison. We are back with those movie guys. We're going to be talking sharks tonight. We're going to do a little deep dive into Jaws, the entire franchise, not just the Jaws. Hopefully we'll have some information that you don't know or might want to go look up later. I have already talked to my co-hosts a little bit before starting, and David Fott is already behind. He's already behind. We've already found things he doesn't know. So that'll be fun. Let's get rid of this little majinger here. Pop, hello. I am Tom Hutchison. What's going on? Yes, I have the green screen running. We'll pop up some images back there later again too, but we'll also do some little screen sharing, and we'll show you some cool stuff as we're telling you, hopefully some cool stuff. At the minimum, we ask you to come in, join us, talk sharks, talk Jaws, tell us what your top 5 shark movies are of all time. Maybe you've got stuff that's not on our list. That would be cool. So let's get it started. Right off the bat, we have Mr. Jim E. Noble.
Hello.
Fashion plate extraordinaire. He totally copied me. We're wearing the same thing, dude.
How embarrassing.
Somebody has to change. Oh, what's up, Mr. Smithers? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Also with us is, yes, the green screen is cooperating more or less. I have figured some things out. I still need better lighting, but that's for a different show. We also have with us guest co-host. I don't know what the hell we are. Mr. David Fott is here. He's doing hand puppets for you.
Hello, everybody.
All right, so episode 4, Jaws the franchise. Yeah, the New Hope. We hope that this will get better. Yes, what we're gonna do. We actually had a subject chosen before we actually went on air this time, which is good. We decided to go ahead and do a little Jaws chat. Of course, we'll splinter off into the shark movies in general, but Jaws as a franchise is pretty deep with stuff to talk about. Especially when some of your co-hosts don't know that Jaws the Revenge has an alternate ending. Oh my God, David.
I just watched it backstage.
Alternate endings. But yeah, so the homework for David and Jim was and for myself, because even though I've seen all of these movies at least 100 times probably, it's good to get a refresher, especially when this stuff is all on Blu-ray now. So it's definitely, I will say, for those that are considering buying the 45th anniversary edition of Jaws that has just been released, 2 thumbs up. If I had more thumbs, I would give you more thumbs. I was skeptical because I was like, well, I have the 35th anniversary. It's on Blu-ray. What the hell do I need this thing for? But apparently they went in and did a massive restoration of the entire film. And on the Blu-ray, there's actually a little featurette talking about what they did, how they did it. And man, immediately as I turned this movie on, I was like, this is new. All of this looks like it just came out in 2020, but it still has just enough vintage stuff to it that it wasn't a 2020 movie. And that's what makes it so perfect. You don't need it to be this hyper clean thing when it's not intended to be. Still though, 100% thumbs up if you guys are Jaws fans at all. If you don't have the movie anyway, definitely get it. If you have it, do yourself a favor and upgrade it. I'm not even talking about the 4K version, because I don't have a 4K TV or any of that. I'm just talking about the basic, here's what we did for the Blu-ray restoration. And it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, there's our Best Buy official sponsor. Go to Best Buy, get your Blu-ray Jaws now. Thank you for sponsoring us, Best Buy. I'll give you my address at the end of the show for more specials.
Oh man.
So I think
here we go.
I think that if we were to talk to anybody on the planet and say, okay, what is the best shark movie?
Right.
I don't think there's anyone on the planet would have a list that doesn't start with Jaws. Is there? I mean, you guys, can you come up with anything that honestly would be better than Jaws? I mean, obviously, there's better in some cases CG and effects and things like that. But as far as an actual movie, beginning to end, actors, the story, I mean, it all kind of worked. I don't think that there's a list that can start without Jaws. And if it does start without Jaws, I'm already very skeptical of that list.
Well, what I think, Jaws is there's a lot of people in their 40s and 50s that might have been like one of the first biggest movie events of their life. This is 2 years before Star Wars, so it's literally the biggest movie event of their life at a very young age. And I know a lot of people that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and even their 30s that they won't go in the ocean because of Jaws. And it has that much of an impact. I don't think I've ever seen anyone get affected by a movie so much as actually Jaws has, compared to like any other movie that's come out in the last 50 years. No one's ever been like, yeah, I don't want to go in space because it's all aliens. It's like, nope, Jaws, I can't go. I can't put my foot in the ocean. I will not step foot in the ocean. But now, if you ask people that are, let's say maybe in their 20s or 30s, they may, it's a possibility that they may have never seen Jaws. And so their shark movie references might be something like Deep Blue Sea or the Reef or, something that's more relevant, Sharknado. That's more.
And as I said, those lists would be invalidated immediately.
Right. But it is
it's true though, because you're talking about a movie that's almost 50 years old. So everything is kind of generational, and unless there's an active push to bring Jaws to, teenagers now,
right.
They might not see it. And even if they did, because of the way that the film was made with the robot shark, which we all know doesn't always hold up, when we know what a shark looks like. They're gonna often watch that movie and be bored because it's heavy drama, which I also think is what makes the movie better than most of other sharks, because you have not just your story. I mean, the story is the most bare bones story ever. Really, a shark comes to the island, eats some people. The chief of police hires a guy to kill the thing, and they go out on a boat. Like, that's Jaws. That's all it is. But when you have Roy Scheider and you have Robert Shaw and you have Richard Dreyfuss as your core, but then you also have, the mayor is awesome and all that. You have such massively distinctive and unique characters that every time they're on screen together, something's going on, and it's either funny or it's dramatic, or it's almost always good, whatever's happening. And I think that's what sets it apart from a lot of shark movies, even shark movies that I really like a lot, like say The Reef. The characters there are basically all the same. It's just a bunch of tourists on a boat, and they have to get in the water and go swimming, and they're all basically the same. And so I think that's where a lot of and that goes for monster movies in general. Whatever's chasing you, the characters have to stand out for it to kind of level up.
Well, and for me with Jaws, like, I don't even classify it as I know it sounds stupid, like a horror movie, something like that. Like,
it's a thriller. It's a thriller.
I remember, like, when Jaws came out, and it was just like the first blockbuster ever made. They labeled that as the first blockbuster ever made.
First summer blockbuster.
Yeah, summer blockbuster. Yeah, the summer blockbuster. And I remember going to drive-in, and they decided, like, because back then, you couldn't get them on VHS, you couldn't get them shit like that and all, on home. So every couple of years, they'd bring the movie back out.
All right, that's true. Yeah.
And I remember going to drive-in and seeing movies, and they would play that damn trailer at the beginning of the movies, and all they show is just that girl bobbing.
Yeah.
And then going down, and they'd say Jaws, and you're like, what the hell is this? But yeah, Jaws, I always classified it as more of like in the lines of Indiana Jones. And I know they're all Steven Spielberg, what I'm going to say, but more Indiana Jones, more E.T., more of an adventure movie. that Saturday morning adventure movie.
And it's really only horror because people get eaten.
Yeah,
and there's blood shooting out all over the place, and that's where it gets the horror tag.
Yeah,
but it really isn't a horror movie. It's a thriller movie.
No.
It's an adventure. It's a drama. It's got a lot going on. So
if you took the music out, the movie would be extremely different.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately, whenever someone thinks about Jaws, they think dun, 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 dun. Like that's immediately what they go to. But if that music wasn't in there, the movie may not have been as successful as it was.
Absolutely.
Because if you can imagine sitting there watching a 2-minute shot of just something underwater, and you're just following it, and then all of a sudden someone gets attacked, it's like,
well, you'd have some kind of music, right? But because it's John Williams, and John Williams is, to me, he is the best movie score director, whatever they call themselves. Period. There are a lot of great people that do great things. James Horner and so on. Danny Elfman. That's for another podcast, sir. But if you really think about, and John has done stuff that you don't know. I mean, for example, he did the score for War Horse. Nobody knows the score for War Horse. Like, you're not going to hum it, but Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Jaws and Close Encounters and and on and on and on and on and on. He actually even came back for Jaws 2. He's done some of the most singly recognizable themes, not just for like the movie, but within the movie. Darth Vader gets a theme. Princess Leia gets a theme. Jaws the shark himself gets a theme. So yeah, John Williams changes everything. And he actually did a movie he actually did a Dracula movie in the 70s. He scored a Dracula movie, if you can believe that. Damn. Yeah, I'll have to find that for you guys, because I actually have the vinyl record of it. I found it in a record shop. I was like, what is this? So I had to have that. But yeah, the music is a huge part of anything, and I think anybody that goes to movies understands that. But when you're talking about the shark, and especially here when you really didn't have a shark because the damn thing didn't work, Steven found ways to bring the shark to you with like the barrels and so on. But then when there was nothing there, the shark was still there because of John Williams.
Yep.
Yeah, oh, hell yeah.
And another thing that I really enjoy about Jaws, and especially hearing like documentaries about the making of and all that, is the chemistry between Shaw and Richard Dreyfuss, and the fact that they didn't get along at all.
No.
And then you see that in the movie, but also it works well for their characters. But it's like, yeah, that guy really was pissed at that guy.
Yeah. I heard like,
and sometimes that works, and we'll talk about Jaws 2, because Jaws 2, Scheider did not want to do Jaws 2, but he was still under contract with Universal. So, they were like, well, buddy, we got to figure something out.
Sorry.
But, sometimes that stuff works out because the emotion will come through and it elevates the character and what they're doing.
When they made Jaws 2, did they try to reach out to Dreyfuss, or was Dreyfuss at the time doing something else that he could?
To be perfectly honest, I have not heard a Dreyfuss story as to why he's not in. I don't know. I can tell you that
they say that he's gone, like on a trip somewhere, and that's why he can't be reached.
Right. Yeah. They use the Aurora from Jaws the original as the reason why he's not there.
Yeah.
So they did have an organic, storyline, which was good. But I have not heard a story as to why. As far, maybe they didn't want him, maybe they couldn't afford him. Blah 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 blah. But I'll tell you that Jaws 2 had problems when it started.
Yeah.
Because it actually, what we saw was not the original movie. And in fact, they had started shooting Jaws 2 with a completely different shooting script. And then there was director problems, and and they had to basically start over again, start from scratch. And we got the movie that we got, including Roy Scheider, who basically got out of his contract by doing it because they counted Jaws as 2 movies for him, so that he could get out of contract and go do whatever else he did after that. So
Quest 1933 or whatever it was, the TV show.
It's so, and what also with Jaws too, it's really interesting if you just jump into the Jaws franchise, and for some reason you just skip the first movie and you go into Jaws 2, and you just see Brody, the character, just losing his shit like it's a shark. There's a shark. It's a shark out there. I'm telling you, it's a shark. I think it's happening again. It's a shark. There hasn't been a shark on this island for X amount of years in the first movie, but in the, then he has I guess he has PTSD at that point to where it's like, look, there's a shark. They fire him. They said, no, you're just a crazy old fool. We're going to fire you. He's literally making cyanide bullets in his office, which watching that scene, I was like, all right, I guess. Yeah. And he's but also you would think after the first movie, after that experience, and if he didn't just thinking he lives on an island, why doesn't he just move somewhere else? Why does he stay on the island?
He loves his job.
It's the job. I'm sure that the kids were like, hey, we're living on the beach, man. This is cool.
Yeah.
Also the other big complaint I had was when in Jaws 2, he's talking to the deputy, and he's like, hey, how do you work this thing on the boat?
Yes.
And it's like, you live on an island. You went out sailing in the first movie, and also you're the sheriff of a freaking island. You don't know how to drive a boat?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, when in the first movie, let's step back, because in the first movie, he didn't know what the fuck was going on with Hooper's boat.
Right.
And Hooper was like, don't touch anything.
Yeah.
And then when he's on the Orca and Quint's like, just take the boat straight ahead. He's like, I've never driven a boat in my life. So there it is. I mean, he's not boat guy. He's from New York, or at least at some point he's from New York, because they moved there from New York. So he's not boat dude. And he's not water dude, because even when he's on the beach and like the kid is getting eaten, like he doesn't step into the water. He's still on the beach. He's not helping anyone do anything. He's just like, come on, get out of the water. Yeah.
Not to kind of change things, but last night was really cool because I'm probably going to get hell for this, but I really like watching the ghost shows that's on Travel Channel and stuff, and all Taps and stuff like that used to be on. Well, for people that don't know it, Taps, the remaining people that came back from Taps they got a show called Ghost Nation. Well, last night, and I did not know this, Tom will probably know this, Jaws was based on a true story.
Yes.
I did not know that.
I mean, very loosely. It's not really what it is. I mean, hyper loosely, but yes.
Last night on Ghost Nation, they was at the town that supposedly happened to, and they was investigating, saying, hey, that the kid got killed. There was a shark that came inland that they didn't know how the hell it came inland.
Yeah, it came up a stream that connected to the ocean. And there's actually a movie about it on Netflix too. It's called 7 Days of Horror or something like that.
Okay.
And basically it was New Jersey. A shark got up into the pond, as they would call it in Jaws. And it knocked off 7 or 8 people in the early 1900s. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the basis for the book that Peter Benchley wrote. And then, of course, when it became a movie, the movie and the book are just not the same. Just not the same.
Yeah.
In the book, Hooper and Brody's wife are knocking boots, and there's all kinds of extra stuff that's going on. Yeah. But yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen, how much have you guys seen or heard with the killing of and this is something that is rare in horror movies ever. Think about this happened in 1975. Steven Spielberg offed a kid in front of our face.
Yeah.
You don't kill kids in these movies, but he was like, nah, we're killing that kid. And it was pretty horrific. But what's interesting is originally they wanted to actually show the shark and get him. It was going to come up out of the water and it was going to get him. And they just couldn't make it happen. It just wasn't working. There's actual footage of it. If you go on YouTube, you can go look it up. There's black and white footage of them trying to make the shark eat this dummy kid on a raft, and they couldn't make it work. But I did find this, and I'm going to show this to you guys.
Oh God,
Pop, there's a still from them trying to eat the kid.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm not sure that what we got was more or less terrifying, because there's a kid flailing about and it's just blood. It looks like it's straight out of Army of Darkness. It's just blood shooting out of the water.
It's almost like that scene in Nightmare on Elm Street where Glenn gets sucked into the bed and you're just shooting the thing of water. Well, the thing with that too is, Jaws came out in 1975. In the 70s, movies in the 70s, there was a lot of, no one was really cracking down on movies that were being made. You could get a lot. There was a lot of stuff that people were getting away with in those movies that were made during that time. But as time goes on, you don't see kids dying in movies in the last 20 years. As far as movies goes, there's very few commercially successful blockbuster movies where a kid dies.
Yeah,
the only one I could think of right now, like recently, is It.
Right.
Like it was successful, and that's the only one I could think of for like a long time where kids got killed. Oh crap!
And it was the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
In the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie, the beginning of the movie, they're hanging people who are associated or might be pirates, and there's a kid singing in that movie, and then they hang him. Well, they don't show the kid hanging because Disney said, if you do this movie will not be made if you show the kid being hung. So they had to cut to him, like he's holding the pirate coin or whatever, and then he drops the coin or whatever it was. But it's very interesting to see the way Hollywood has changed. But like in 1975, they're like, let's see how many kids we can kill.
Remind me,
teenagers is one thing but to knock off like a 12-year-old kid is pretty crazy.
He's got his yellow raft. He's having fun.
Yeah.
Chomp. Yeah.
Jaws was PG-13 or PG, right?
PG, yeah.
It's a PG movie.
That's what I thought.
It's a PG movie. And how many people die in it? How many PG movies today where people actually die? I don't think they die in Frozen. Nobody dies in that.
For a second, I think. No.
And like, and then there's Jaws and there's Jaws 2, and Jaws 2, as far as sequels go, Jaws 2 was really, really good. Because when you watch Jaws and you watch Jaws 2, Jaws is like the leading up to the hunt and then finally taking down the beast.
Yeah.
Whereas Jaws 2 is just like, okay, shark's back, nothing but mayhem. We're gonna go kill it. There's barely any story in between that.
Yeah, it basically Jaws and this Jaws 2 rather came out in 1978. So it came out right after Halloween.
Wow.
And basically Jaws 2 is where the shark is now not so much just a wandering shark. It's now a slasher movie because the shark just comes in and it's just, we're going to start eating people and we're going to chase down these kids for no reason. He's Freddy. The shark is now Freddy. Now, again, like we talked about, the original shooting script, and this is in the comic book too, by the way. This is the only Jaws comic book that exists. There's a big oversized Jaws 2 comic that Marvel did, and it's based on a shooting script that was canned. So it's not what the movie is. And in the comic book, when they get out to Cable Junction, they discover that there's actually a shark breeding ground at Cable Junction, and there are baby sharks. And so this shark is technically supposed to be like the wife of the first shark, and so it is actually coming in and being like, "F you guys, I'm going to eat you because you killed my husband." And then there's all the babies running around, and that was the comic, and that was part of what the original shooting script was before it got canned and they rebooted.
Well, and the way it starts too, it starts off at the wreck of the Orca.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like there's got to be a connection with that shark and the shark that dies in the first movie to think, okay, so this is where mother, father, husband, wife, shark died. I'm going to go get revenge. Where did this ship come from? I don't know. Like, I don't how far away. They never really explained how far away they were from Amity when they were looking for the shark.
I mean, if you watch the movie, there's land everywhere, but you're not supposed to see that. You're supposed to be pretty far out, because otherwise there would be boats and they could get help. So you in theory they were supposed to be well out. I mean, they were miles out because they were talking about dropping miles of chum marker and so on.
Yeah.
So they were miles and miles offshore, theoretically, before they turned around and started coming back. But there was never another boat that came and helped them, even when they were sinking and giant monsters were flying out of the ocean. So they had to still have been pretty significantly out there to not get any help.
See, now I had to read that comic because, like, I swear on this stack of sort of sharks, I remember that being in the movie, like that part with saying that she was like the shark was somehow kinned to the first one. So I must have read
the only mention of anything like that is when they find the whale on the beach, and Brody's like, "Look, if a shark was destroyed, you don't think another shark would come and do something?" And the lady's like, "Look, they don't take things personally, they're fish."
Okay,
so there's that, but that is the only sort of reference as far as like, here. So here's actually a shot from the comic where the shark is taking out the boat, like completely taking it out.
I did read that when I was younger. I remember that, and I totally forgot that.
Wow.
Huh.
And then we have the sequel to Jaws 2 and the second sequel to Jaws. We have Jaws 3D, in which actually the director was a production designer on Jaws and Jaws 2. And he was given the directing for Jaws 3D. And what they should have called it was Disaster at SeaWorld 1983. Probably would have.
Well, it was the Zanuck and Brown, when they started to talk about Jaws 3, they wanted to originally do a parody movie. And it was going to be called Jaws 3 People Zero.
Yep.
And I'll say that I'll take what we got over the parody movie.
I don't know. That's a really awesome name. I'm not gonna lie. Oh man.
And so here's with Jaws 2, it became a slasher movie. It was chasing, like, it didn't make any sense. The shark was just eating random people, and then it just was like, oh, there's some boats. We'll go get those boats. With Jaws 3, it made less sense. But basically, actually, with Jaws 3, it actually just turned itself back around, and it tried to become, here's a random shark again, versus, because you're not at Amity. Amity's gone. You're in, well, technically you're in Texas. You're down at that's where they filmed it, the Texas SeaWorld.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was actually in Texas, but that's where they filmed it. So you're at this crazy SeaWorld place, and there just happens to be another shark around. There's zero connection. Mike Brody talks about, hey, you remember where that thing that happened when we were kids? And so there's a little bit of talk back to it, but it's never inferred like, oh shit, another one is here. What are we doing? What's going on?
Yeah,
so there's none of that.
Chances of another shark. He works at SeaWorld. He knows there's going to be sharks that might show up. But with Jaws 3D, there's a couple things. And this will also go into Jaws 4, Jaws the Revenge. Is that, Jaws 3D comes out, was July 1983. It's the second 3D movie, the first being Friday the 13th, Part 3, which came out in August 1982. So a year later, they're like, okay, well, Friday the 13th could do it. Here's Jaws. And then 5 months later, we get Amityville 3D.
Right.
So there's a big thing going to 3D between 1982 and 1983.
Well, they were doing 3D on TV again too.
Yep.
Like you could go to 7-Eleven and get the glasses and watch Creature from the Black Lagoon, on 3D and stuff like that. So, and it was terrible. It was terrible 3D. Oh my God. Never worked.
The blue and the red lenses.
Yes.
Blue and the red lenses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember the Amity 3D. It's like this big claw coming out of the house. It's like,
it was that 3-claw deal going.
Yep.
But seeing the characters in Jaws 3D, and also kudos for them for casting Dennis Quaid as Michael. It's outstanding to have him. He's the biggest actor in the movie. But they also he's not the only Brody. They bring the younger brother in, but the younger brother's character in Jaws 3D is a college guy who's like, I never want to live by the water again. Yep. I'm done with the water. I want to do my own thing. I'm going to school now. And like, he's like wearing a cowboy hat. So like, you just think maybe he's going to be like a rancher or something, or working in agriculture. I don't know. But then you get to Jaws the Revenge. And the beginning of the movie, it's Sean, and he's on Amity, and he's a cop.
Well, that's because Jaws the Revenge is a reboot. They decided it's a reboot. It's a reboot. Because in Jaws 3, Mike is a technician designer guy. Yeah. And then in Jaws 4, he's suddenly studying conchs. It's like, no. No. Jaws the Revenge was a reboot because they realized they went a direction. They tried something, and they were like, well, what can we get off of Amity? Can we do something else? You know, like this didn't work, but it didn't work because of the idea. It was, in most cases, is because of the execution of it. A good portion of it is garbage because of all the 3D they were forcing into doing it. Like, oh, I'm gonna get you with my stick. You know, like there was too much of that. Just junk. You know, the fish head at the beginning,
the tentacle coming out of the girl.
Yeah, the tentacle, the you know, when the shark blows up at the end, spoiler alert, you know, all the little pieces go and then just like sit there and float. Like they were too worried about their 3D than they were about what they were doing from a story standpoint. Yeah.
But
so they couldn't really execute it.
On a budget of $18 million, they made $88 million, so they made a $70 million profit.
That's why Jaws the Revenge happened.
Yep.
yeah. But you know, it kind of like this kind of goes back to let's just do it. Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh no!
It took it in a different direction. It did different things with the characters, and the fan base was like, dude, what happened here? What are you doing? You're taking us away from what we understand. And so when they did Jaws the Revenge, they were like, yeah, let's bring it back around. Let's bring it back home. I mean, even Mrs. Kintner is in Jaws the Revenge.
Yep.
In a quick little cameo thing. So, Jaws the Revenge was intended to be a reboot, a complete. Let's just forget that 3.
I need to rewatch that again
and come around.
See it that way.
And, well, the thing with now I watched the alternative ending right before we started the show because you mentioned it, and I was like, okay, I got 3 minutes before we go live. And but also I noticed this when I was watching just the regular version that I watched, the flashbacks that Mrs. Brody has to Brody, where he's smile, you son of a bitch, and he blows up the shark. No one was around for that. No one was on that. She wasn't on that boat. She wasn't anywhere near. How is she gonna? Yeah. How is her memory scenes with him?
Listen, you're a writer. You can write this shit. I can write all of this shit. Okay. Now, granted, you're using a flashback scene, so it's very confusing. But there's no reason Brody couldn't have told her what happened.
That's true. That's true. And like,
I mean, that's how you write that. But there's actually a little. There's a shot in there where she's out on the boat and the shark is coming, and she's looking at it, and it's like, dun, 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 dun. She's like, "Come and get me, you son of a bitch." So I mean, there's overlaps. You know, that they tried to do here, especially in Jaws the Revenge. Not so much in the third one, but although in the third one they did have a little Quint moment where they were shooting the thing with the little barrel bobbling that went off. So they had a little bit of that, you know. So they've always kind of tried to talk about their franchise, but execution wise, it doesn't always work.
The scene with Michael and his daughter, because they had previously a couple scenes before that. Brody flashes back to her son Sean doing that with his father, but Michael never did. Well, maybe he did, but you just never saw it in the movie because he was an older kid. He didn't do that scene, but he recreates that scene with his daughter, and it's like, well, it would have made more sense if it was Sean, but Sean's already dead at this point.
Agreed.
Yeah. And then of course she's watching it all go down. And it's just like, I would have been fine with that.
Again, you're digging too deep. You're digging too deep.
Yeah.
It's just her kid having a moment with his kid, just like Brody had a moment with his kid. It's just loose connections and loose things that I think it worked ultimately in the end. I don't think it detracted. Again, Jaws Revenge, it tried to become more character based again than the literally the amusement park that Jaws 3 was.
Which, and also like the fact that SeaWorld, it's not like freaking Fish World. It's not, it's not a SeaWorld knockoff. It is legitimately SeaWorld in this movie. Now, granted, it's funny to see SeaWorld in that movie to see where SeaWorld has gone today. But just a thought, like, can you imagine being the guy who owns SeaWorld and they're like, we want to make Jaws 3D based in SeaWorld. Like, do you think ticket sales were going up or going down? I don't know. It's like, well, let's go to SeaWorld. I might get stuck in the underwater aquarium and get eaten by Jaws. Granted, no one, also, as far as kills go, no one dies inside that tube in the entire movie. And going as far as kills go, when we get to Jaws 4, you have two in the ending that's being used more often now, but actually it's three. So it's three, but the one guy who gets eaten comes back at the end.
Yeah,
so,
Mario Van Peebles.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was weird, but again, and here we go again with Jaws 3, or sorry, with Jaws 4. We had a different starting script than what ended up being on the screen, because in the original, and this is in the book, the novelization, it's called Jaws the Revenge because the shark comes after the like officially they come out and say the shark is coming to get the Brodies, and that's your rationale for why this shark is chasing them. How the hell it knows where the Bahamas are, I don't know, and why they're in the Bahamas, I don't know. But yeah, they're basically saying, this shark is coming after the Brodies. But originally in the script and in the book, it came after the Brodies because a voodoo guy put a curse on the Brodies and was using a shark to, come take them out.
What did the Brodies do to piss that guy off?
I haven't read the book yet, so I don't know. I haven't read the book yet.
There was a shootout, and he had, Chief of Police of Amity kills brother, or arrest wrongful voodoo.
Yeah, maybe it was like Thinner or something. Like with Thinner, they done the revenge thing, and Thinner, but shark.
I will end up at some point reading the book and I'll tell you what happened. But yeah, that was the thing there, and so they took all that stuff away, and you ended up with what we had, where Sean dies because that's the point of the movie. And then the only other person that dies is a random chick on a banana boat.
Yeah. I had forgotten about the banana boat it was Shark Week this week. So I watched all of them again. And I for the longest time, I thought only one person had died in Jaws the Revenge. And then I saw the girl in the banana boat get eaten. I'm like, oh, okay. So it went from 1 to 2, but that doesn't make that much of a difference.
No. It's, that's one of the things about like the Meg that really bothered me, is you have this shark that is like the size of an immense whale. I mean, like just a mouth, like ridiculous. Yeah. And when it gets to the end and it gets to India and it's just filled with people in the water. Why isn't it just like opening its and just being like, like eating people? It doesn't do anything. It's
being so selective.
Yeah. It's like, these guys, I'm going to stick with eating the white people over here.
Oh, I've never seen it. That's one shark movie I've never seen. I never had the desire to watch it.
I read the books of the Meg.
I did too.
And the fact that the guy who made the book, like for almost a decade, he was like, "Yeah, we're making a movie. And then they finally did make the movie.
Stephen Alton.
And I saw that. That was like one of the very few movies I saw in the like the past couple of years. I wasn't going to movie theaters very often, but that's one of the movies I saw in the theater that I was like, yeah, this is worth it, because I know. Yeah. I wasn't going in there expecting to be a copycat of the book. I just was going in there like, there's a giant megalodon. He's going to eat some people. That's going to be fun. Yeah. like I'm just here to see him eat people. Like that's all I want to see.
I'll eventually watch it, but I'm such a huge Jaws fan.
It's basically Jaws. Like,
yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
There is so much homage and Easter eggs to Jaws. It's ridiculous.
Oh wow,
it's ridiculous. Yeah, and I was sitting there watching the movie like, oh my god, what do they have a story of their own? Because this is just Jaws.
Oh damn.
It's not. I've softened on it. I came out of it going like, this is garbage. I've seen it a few times since because it's like on HBO or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's okay. I mean, you have a decent cast. You have Jason Statham. You've got the dude from The Office. He's funny.
Yeah, Ray Wilson.
Yeah. You know, it's fine. It's fine. There's nothing like wrong with it. Like, there's shark movies that are like, this is terrible. Meg doesn't really land in the terrible range, but I had a lot of questions, and I just couldn't understand. Like, we have this huge thing, and we're not doing really anything with it other than making Jaws jokes. And so, like,
the one thing, honestly, the only big disappointment I had with the movie, because I'd read the book before I saw the movie.
Yeah, I've read the book.
Was, in the book, at the very beginning of the book, it talks about the Meg eating a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That would have been cool to like start at the beginning, where like
cool.
it would be like a homage to Jurassic Park. Kind of, and like two Steven Spielberg movies in one, where it's literally a giant shark eating a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That would have been cool to watch, just to see that. Like, but they didn't do that. I'm like, oh, all right, well, maybe they may do it for. They're doing the Meg 2, the Trent, because it's a four. I believe it's a 4-book series. I think he did 4 books. There is Meg 2, The Trench, and they already signed a director, October 23rd, 2020. So it is coming. They're going to be making the Meg 2. I'm super excited about that.
Damn.
I'm more excited about that than all the Sharknado sequels.
I tell you what, I liked a lot too, and like I enjoyed it. Like, it's a popcorn movie. It's kind of a, I think it was called The Shallows.
Sure.
With, I was totally I saw that, you know, the trailer for it. I'm like, no, I don't want to see it either. And I think I saw it on Netflix. I think it was on Netflix for a little bit. And I was like, holy shit, this is actually really good. Like, I was surprised. Like, it was intense as hell. God.
And 2 guys with GoPros showing up, and she's like trying to pull that one guy on the right.
Trying to get that camera. Damn. Yeah, that was another good one.
What do you guys think about Deep Blue Sea? Did you guys like Deep Blue Sea?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I love it. No, I'm a huge fan of LL Cool J in movies. I think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
I wish they'd put him in more movies, because I mean he's in a lot of like horror based movies. Just, you know, because he's like the comedic relief of the whole movie. Him and Michael Rappaport, comedic relief of most of the movie. So if it's not one scene of Michael Rappaport, then you're gonna get an LL Cool J scene. You're not gonna get much in between. Like, they can't just be serious the whole time. Like, we gotta get out. We gotta get back to the surface.
Well, and you had Thomas Jane, and you had
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel Jackson too. Yeah.
And you also had Janet, the woman who played Tony Soprano's sister. In the very beginning, she's the one in the radio control tower that gets blown up. She played Janet Soprano in The Sopranos. It's a blink and you'll miss. It's like, obviously I didn't see the movie because she was in the movie. But one thing I really love about it is, and in Deep Blue Sea, where they experiment on the sharks, it's a old World War II submarine pen. And dude. You know, being in the Navy, and I was a submariner, and I worked on submarines, and there's a scene in the movie where LL Cool J picks up a phone, and he's talking on the phone to the, you know, whoever on the surface, and the phone that he's talking on, literally, in the Navy, they still use those same phones, literally from World War II. They call them growlers, where basically, you know, you pick it up, you put the channel that you're trying to call, and you're like, line clear, then you growl it, you basically, you know, do the little thing, and that way it rings, and then someone picks up and it's like, yeah, what's up? And then, you know, then you hang up. When I had rewatched it when I was in the Navy, and I was like, holy shit, I use those every day.
Nice.
So I have more of an appreciation for Deep Blue Sea, just because of the fact that I can relate to it in some way. Like, never mind like the sharks, you know, that are going to cure Alzheimer's, but just the fact that LL Cool J uses a cool phone.
And of course, at the beginning, the license plate in the shark's mouth is the license plate from Jaws.
Yeah, one thing about you pointed out too with the Meg is like every shark movie since Jaws has to reference Jaws. It's like, look, if you're gonna make a shark movie, you have to make a reference in Jaws. Otherwise, this movie's not gonna get made.
That's right. That's right. Even Piranha. Did you guys see Piranha? The
remake?
I've seen all of them.
The old one, or the new one?
So no, the remake, because it had Richard Dreyfuss in it, and it was that full-on ass fish, you know.
Took his ass out.
Yeah.
Yeah, those Piranha movies, man. The remade versions, it was like, oh god, and it was just so funny. You think they'll ever remake Jaws? You think they'll reboot that?
Oh, I hope not.
No, I don't think you'll ever see it.
Is there a reason why they haven't done it?
Because Jaws of Revenge flopped, basically, and at that point, it was basically. I mean, there's tons of franchises that have just disappeared. For whatever reason, I'm sure that there are probably scripts that have come in for it. I'm sure probably none of them are any good, and that's why you haven't seen it. I personally, I'll tell you this right now, especially when we were talking about the reboot between Jaws 3 and Jaws 4. I actually have a Jaws 5 story that would thread all four of them together and explain all of the weird idiosyncrasies between 3 and 4, and then come out with a 5 that would sort of bookend the whole thing and put it together. Damn. So Universal, I'm here for you.
We must chat later.
I mean, look, they screwed up with trying to do the Mummy franchise and the whole Dark Universe. It's like maybe it's time to go back to go back to Jaws. Just do Jaws.
The funny thing is, Tom probably will remember this. That's actually the first time we talked. I mean, we talked about how much you like the Mummy movie.
Was it really?
Yeah.
The new one with Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I actually kind of liked it.
Yeah, I did too. And that's another podcast. I'll defend that movie forever, and I'll prove you all wrong. Now, it's not to say necessarily that it's better than the Brandon Fraser thing.
No.
But for what if you just take it on its own and you just look at it as what it is and how it works and what it was trying to do,
right?
It was fine. I didn't expect it to do $1 billion, and that was I think that was one of the big problems is we were in this $1 billion mode. Star Wars was making $1 billion. The Marvel movies were making $1 billion. Like if you didn't make $1 billion, like what the fuck are we doing here?
Right.
And so you know, it was. In fact, The Mummy was the highest. Let me see if I get this right. At the time, it was the highest money-making Tom Cruise movie.
Really?
Except for the Mission Impossibles. Those are his peaks. The Mummy made more money than any other Tom Cruise movie. Now, obviously, that's inflation and you know, stuff like that. But it made like $400 and some odd million. So it wasn't like just a bust, but they were expecting, dude, we got to get to this $1 billion thing.
More money.
And otherwise, this isn't going to work. I mean, imagine if they had just kept going. We would have by now had The Invisible Man. We would have had The Bride of Frankenstein. Just fucking keep going, guys. Just build it. Build the thing.
There's no reason not to do that.
Yeah, you still own the properties. Just build it. Just go.
And who the hell they had for like The Bride of Frankenstein for a while? I lost my shit.
Yeah, it was
Gil.
Tomb Raider. No, it was Tomb Raider girl.
Oh, was it Tomb Raider girl?
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Really?
I could see that.
Oh, I could definitely see that.
Would have been amazing.
Did you guys ever ride the Jaws ride? You guys ever go to Universal and ride the Jaws ride?
Hell yes.
They took it away.
Yes.
They took it away.
Goddamn Harry Potter.
Yeah, I remember riding that. I rode that in like 2009. So 2009, I went to Universal. I rode the Jaws ride, and like the guy, whoever they would hire to get, I guess in like the last like 10 years of the Jaws ride at Universal, they were just hiring people who didn't really want to work on the Jaws ride because they were so unenthusiastic. They're like,
oh look, well, it was like Jaws. The Jaws ride was basically the what do you call that thing? The Jungle Cruise. It's just guys. It's just shtick. Oh. It's just shtick. You know.
The guy I had, he had the prop gun. You know, like when they shoot in the water and the water, shoots up.
Yes.
So he would have his gun, and then he would go click, and then like 5 seconds later, then the water would go.
Yeah.
But like the delay, the delay in the ride was just like, oh god. Like I could see why they killed it off because
Man,
no one was really like. I thought it was fun just because. I mean, it's the Jaws ride.
Yep.
I always wanted to do that one. I always wanted to do the King Kong ride. Never done it.
Yeah, I got to do King Kong too.
Oh,
Yeah, see, and they kill Jaws with the wires, like there it is in his mouth.
Yeah.
oh man.
Yeah.
It was fun. Like I did it twice. I did it back to back. I did it, and I was like, "Let's go again. We're going again."
We're only here once. Let's do it again.
Yeah, I was like, "I'll never be here again," so I'm doing this 2 times.
Yeah, I wish they would bring it back. Just like that, they should have never gotten rid of it. I mean, it's such a big Universal. Like it made a lot of money for Universal. Why not keep it?
Well, and now apparently here it is sitting.
Oh no,
on rocks.
No.
I remember, Disney did that with a lot of the MGM stuff when they used to be MGM Studios. They weren't Hollywood Studios. It was the MGM Studios part at the Disney World. They had MGM, Epcot, all that.
Yeah.
The MGM backlot tour. There were so many vehicles and there was like literally like ships from Star Wars just dying in the sun.
Yeah.
In the backlot at MGM Studios, and it's just like. This is where like these props come to it's like Indiana Jones. It belongs in a museum. Like there's so many cool things. It's I saw a thing about Back to the Future. They're like, yeah, some of the original cars, those things got fucking destroyed. They were just sitting in like rock patches. And
here's a piece of trivia for you, and this is why I will never in my life watch Gone with the Wind, because fuck them. At the end, when you have the big. Like everything catches on fire, like the town catches on fire, right?
Yeah.
In that fire, they burned King Kong's wall.
No.
Yes.
Oh wow. The
original. Yeah, they burned King Kong's wall for Gone with the Wind. Yeah.
God.
Screw you, Scarlett. Not watching your movie.
The original Jaws animatronic sharks. What did they do with those? Do you know what they did with those?
One is, last I heard, owned by a private guy. He has it propped up on 2 posts at like a. I'll see if I can find it online. At like a truck stop or something. It's just like sitting up there.
Oh wow.
The Orca, the original Orca is, from what I understand, is at Universal Studios. Like that's the Orca. The actual boat is there, or at least one of whatever they used is there. I know that there's another animatronic, because there were 3 animatronics. There was a left, a right, and basically a face. And one of them is destroyed. I don't know which one. One of them is stuck, and then there's another one somewhere. I don't know where. Let me see if I can find the one that they have. Just like
I know there was like there's a huge Jaws collector somewhere on the East Coast who had the barrels from the movie.
Ooh.
And
someone asked him, I'm pissed off about the barrels. The barrels.
Someone asked him, like, if you were to sell one of the barrels, how much would you sell them for? And he's like, $10,000 each. I'm like, $10,000 for a barrel from Jaws?
Yeah, but there's only 5 of them.
Yeah. If I'm gonna buy anything from Jaws, I want it to be something that's like maybe that's character related, not just here's a barrel. Like you can just get any barrel and say that's from Jaws.
It's true, and it's part of problems with what the hell?
Oh no!
Legit movie props.
Yeah, you have to be able to legitimize them, and that's often difficult. But let's talk about the barrels for a minute, because the barrels are fucked up. So I've had this in my head for many years. The barrels don't make sense. The math doesn't work. What is going on? And when I watched Jaws this last time, I was paying attention to the barrels, and it's all out of whack. So they shoot the first barrel, right?
Yeah.
And he runs off, and he's chasing off. The barrel comes up later, as they're doing their thing, and as they're bringing that barrel kind of back in, what's his name shoots another one, right?
Yeah.
Then there's a scene where Hooper is actually putting that original barrel back into the tray, right?
Oh no.
Except that when you see the tray again, the numbers don't match up. And then Quint shot another one, and the thing is going off. So the barrel the barrel numbers don't match. It's really screwy. If you watch it, it's hard to explain, but if you watch it and you just pay attention to the scenes and you're like, pump, there goes one, pump, there goes two.
This is why you shoot in order and not just shoot
right.
around. This is a editing thing. You have just shoot it in order. Don't, because if you shoot it around, then you forget, like, hey, wait a minute, he was carrying a green coffee cup, now he has a red coffee cup in the next scene.
There's that. There's it's a Junkyard Bruce. Yes. It's a Junkyard Bruce.
Wow. Yeah. I was watching a TV show where a guy's holding a coffee cup. He opens the refrigerator to get something out, and then when he closes the refrigerator and turns around, he has a different colored coffee cup.
Oh, geez. What movie was that?
It was a TV show. It was like one of those.
Here we go, guys.
It was like a 90210.
Yeah, there it is.
Wow. So wait, where's that at?
San Fernando Valley.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
Now, it may not still be there, but it was there for a long, long time. Yeah.
Damn.
Crazy stuff.
If I would want anything from Jaws, that would be it right there.
Yep. Put that on the balcony of your apartment.
Yeah. Because you've got room.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't you pay rent this month? I just bought the shark from Jaws. Say no more.
I'm living in the shark from Jaws now.
I would sell tickets to see the shark from Jaws in my apartment. I'd be like, welcome to my apartment. Here's some totally rad comic books. Oh, and did you notice the giant shark from Jaws?
Right.
It just takes up a whole living room.
Pay no attention to the shark in the living room.
Yes.
Like, I know what you're thinking. Is that the shark from Jaws? Yes, it is.
Yes,
you're like eating Hungry Man dishes off the shark. Why are you not eating healthy, David? I bought the shark.
Yeah, I'm eating Cheese Whiz and Cheese Whiz and crackers, and I got the shark from Jaws. That's the left shark.
Yep.
Yeah, this is it's interesting to see these things, how it worked. I can't even comprehend what they had to do with this stuff, and then it worked sometimes and it didn't work other times.
Like today, an animatronic shark would be a lot easier to maneuver, but in 1975,
oh god,
Jesus, or 1974 technically, because they probably were working on it in 74. Probably spent a whole
74 or maybe 73, because it might take a couple years to perfect the damn animatronic on it. They never perfected.
No,
that's not sorry. They never perfected it.
Yeah, they must have started filming probably 74, because I mean it took making movies then was like a 9 month, 10 month, sometimes a year thing just to make movies. Let's see, maybe it says it on here. Let's see what the
filming had to start in 74.
Let's see, development. They got the rights in 73, so probably once they got the rights in 1973 is when they started doing it. Casting, filming. Filming began May 2nd, 1974.
Damn. All right.
Let's see. So they started filming in May of 74, and the movie came out over that next summer. So it was, a whole year of filming and then editing and distributing it and advertising and Jesus.
Making all that money after that.
Well, I mean, that all movies take that long. I mean, it's your principal photography is usually a few months and you're done, and then it's all of your effects and the
music,
editing and all that kind of stuff.
Sound mixing. The $9 million budget, $472 million in 1975.
Yeah, I remember my one of my friends was talking. He owned Battlefield Mall movie theater up here, and they said when that stupid movie was released, they had money over fist. They was like putting in bags and taking it out and taking it to the bank. It was making so much money that they couldn't keep that amount of money at the theater. They had to just like put it in the bag and take it to the bank. It was unbelievable.
Put the money in the bag and take it to the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Jaws, there's probably a lot of movies that Steven Spielberg would go on to make that probably would not have been made.
Oh no.
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, when you make a movie like that and you're successful, all the doors open. It's like, you want to make a space thing? Okay, make a space thing. You know,
here's Alien,
and just keep going. Yeah.
You want to make E.T. the extraterrestrial? Well, aren't kids going to make jokes about extra testicle? No, let's fuck it. We'll make the movie. It's going to be great. And we'll make a video game too, and that video game is going to be the best game ever.
You want to make an alien game? We'll make a haunted house movie. Go ahead.
Yeah, you want to do one about kids looking for treasure? By freaking was it One-Eyed Willie? Oh, you want to do a movie about with Harrison Ford about he's in the Ark of the Covenant? That's kind of religious, but okay. Oh wait, Nazis die in it? That's even better. People love movies where Nazis.
Put them in there.
Like, just imagine being the guy who had to approve the Raiders of the Lost Ark script, and he was just like, "Oh, Nazis die!" Like he might have been a Jewish guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Nazis die in it. Okay, well, it doesn't matter what good. Like, never mind the submarine plot hole. I'll accept it."
Well, George Lucas is the guy who got John Williams on Jaws.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Spielberg was like, I got to find somebody to do music, and Lucas was like, you got to go talk to John Williams. So, 6 degrees of George Lucas.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, John. When people think of John Williams, they'll immediately think of George Lucas, but also Steven Spielberg, and all three of those guys. I mean, Spielberg and Lucas, man, those guys, they did basically the entire from 75 until 80.
They were basically 89. The 70s and the 80s. They were it.
Yeah.
In every capacity, from Jaws to Star Wars to Close Encounters to Raiders of the Lost Ark to E.T. I mean, just everything.
E.T., Poltergeist,
nice.
Back to the Future. Like, even when Spielberg wasn't directing, he was producing amazing movies that were making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, and, Gremlins, and I mean, and just think, like, he was like, you thought Jaws spawned shark movies, Gremlins spawned all those other Gremlin knockoff movies. You wouldn't have Critters without Gremlins, which, although the guy who made Critters has said he wrote that script before Gremlins was even a thing.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't come out until after Gremlins.
And like the Chino Brothers designed them before Gremlins and all. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and then Indiana Jones, man. Like, they're like, Harrison Ford, Han Solo, it's awesome, and it's like, well, wait till you see Harrison Ford in the 80s. We're gonna make him an archaeologist. We're gonna make archaeology cool, and then he's gonna do. Stay
in school, kids. Stay in school and buy a whip.
If I've learned anything, is that Steven Spielberg really likes archaeology, whether it's about a guy who goes tomb raiding to put stuff in museums, or about a guy who finds fossils and they turn them into real dinosaurs.
It belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum unless you're John Hammond, and we're going to turn it into something real.
Yep. We'll make it real. We'll take the museum and make it real.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another franchise, the Jurassic Park series. Well, we could do a whole thing about Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about dinosaur movies before Jurassic Park, like 80s and 70s. What dinosaur movies, other than Land of the Lost, the TV series?
There were a handful, but they were basically like 1 million years BC.
Yeah,
stuff like that. They were stop motion. It was all stop motion stuff.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Caveman?
Yep.
No.
With Ringo Starr,
no. I know what you're talking about. I have not seen it.
Dennis Quaid has such a interesting career in the early 80s. He made so many bad movies. Granted, Jaws 3D was a commercial success money-wise.
Yes.
However, it was a really bad movie. He was also like, all these movies that he's in within like 5 years are like shit movies, but like he goes on to be like this amazing actor somehow. He did Caveman, Enemy Mine, and then Jaws 3D, and it's just
G.I.
like
Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, Jesus, man, like,
you're killing me, Smalls.
Like he does Caveman. He gets casted alongside a beetle in a movie, and you just automatically think it's going to be a great movie. And then I love Caveman.
I'll tell you a Dennis Quaid movie that you maybe have never seen. I think it's called Undercover Blues.
Yep.
Where he goes. It's down in New Orleans, and it has Stanley Tucci as this guy who calls himself "I am lo muerte." It's hysterical. It's hysterical.
I remember that one.
You have to see Undercover Blues. Yeah, if you're well, I mean, just see it anyway. But if you're a Dennis Quaid fan, I love Stanley Tucci. I think that guy is brilliant in basically everything except for Transformers 5. How they got him to sign on to be Merlin in Transformers 5? What
money?
Holy,
bought him a new boat, bought him a house.
He was great in Transformers, and that was the thing. He was in Transformers 4.
Yeah.
And I thought he was really good. And then I saw the cast. I was like, oh, he's in 5. They brought him back. Yes. And then he was fucking Merlin.
The exact reason that
Kathleen Turner. Yes.
The exact reason that Michael Caine did Jaws of Revenge. Money.
Oh yes, he has gone on record and has said he has never seen Jaws the Revenge.
No,
he has never seen it. But it bought him his house.
Yep.
So he's perfectly happy with it.
Yeah. Oh Lord! Oh my God!
The reality is that and literally, I just binged these things. It was like Jaws 2, Jaws 3, Jaws 4. Like I watched 3 and 4 back to back. Last week, I just was like, I'm just doing it. I'm going to watch these things. I'm going to get them, and I was like entertained. I was like, this is fine. Yeah. Jaws 3 is shitty with its. I'm going to poke you. You know that stuff is horrible. But
any of those 3D movies.
You got Leah Thompson. She's looking okay. You know, it's like this is fine. I'm okay. I can watch this.
That's the other thing that people forget is Leah Thompson's in Jaws 3D.
Yep.
Because I'd forgotten, and then you get to see her in a wet T-shirt. It's awesome.
Also, one of them, the guy from I can't remember if it's 2 or 3. It might be 4. I can't remember. The guy from Christine's in it.
Oh, he's in 2.
Oh, he's in 2. Yeah, he's one of the teenagers in 2. He survives. Yeah. He survives. Yeah. Way, yeah. There's all kinds of Jaws 2 footage that has disappeared. Also, there are kills that were cut and not used. And some of it you can find stills for. There are pictures of it, and you're like, well, that didn't happen. So I'm kind of hoping that when we get to another few years, it'll be 45th anniversary of Jaws 2. Kind of hoping that maybe Universal will be like, well, let's do a thing and get in on this movie. I mean, it takes a lot of crap because it followed Jaws and same thing. It was a commercial success. It took some critical hits because like we said, it's a slasher movie basically versus the drama that it was in the first one. The character depth isn't there. It's just basically Brody trying to save his kids.
Madman Brody.
Madman Brody.
At the end of that movie where he's hugging Sean, he's like, I'm so glad you're all right. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, man, if I had a kid and literally I've already killed one motherfucking shark and I had to go out and kill another shark because my dumbass kids went sailing when I told them not to go sailing, the minute I get, and also this is the 70s, so this was okay, I would whack the hell out of that kid. Like, I literally just killed a shark with a fucking power line to the goddamn island. And now I'm going to have to deal with that fucking bullshit from the mayor when I get back to town and realize I shut down half the town because I killed a fucking shark. I had to take off my shoes, god damn it. My brand new boat shoes just to kill this shark with the fucking power line.
Well, see, for me, like the Jaws, the whole series is to me like Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street has bad movies. I mean, they have terrible movies, but I'm always freaking entertained with it.
Yeah. I'm in this Jaws group on Facebook, and a good portion of the people they're just having fun. They're just I piss them off because I'm posting Jaws 3 and Jaws the Revenge stuff all the time. I'm just like, hey guys, what about this part? And then you get some people that laugh, and then you get these guys that are like, this should have never been made. This is an abomination. It was like, slow down, dude.
It's a Jaws fans group. It's not just Jaws and Jaws 2. It's every Jaws.
Grab a Snickers, you'll be fine.
Exactly. Just have a little fun and relax. I mean, no one is telling you this is better than Jaws. No one's saying it needed to get an Academy Award or anything. It's just let's just have some fun, and that's it.
I mean, for crying out loud, like, okay, let's throw this out there. Like, was it Freddy's Dead? Like they had a freaking Tom Arnold and Roseanne Barr in it.
Tom Arnold and Roseanne, the fucking Hollywood power couple of the time. Think about that for a second. Tom Arnold and Roseanne Barr are the power couple in Hollywood.
It was fun. Like, so yeah, so okay, Jaws 3D is bad because of the whole. Well, good. The whole there we go thing. But damn, it's fun.
Yeah,
that's what I love about them.
The other thing about Jaws 3D is that when Sean comes to, he shows up, he hooks up Leah Thompson, and he's like, "All right, bro, see you later." And then like, he's not in many other scenes after hooking up and swimming in the water. Like, he's pretty much done in the movie. Like, it's just about Michael at that point, Michael and the shark and his girlfriend. But also going back to Jaws and Jaws 2, there's a theme where Michael gets knocked the fuck out and like a bitch in both movies.
Oh, you caught that, did you?
Yeah.
Why doesn't he get knocked out in Jaws 3D and Jaws 4? Why didn't that's a recurring theme.
Well, he's old enough not to get knocked out now. He's more nimble and so on. He's gone through it, man, and now he knows what's going on.
It's fine. Like we got 7 teenage boys, and we don't have enough budget for the fake blood, so we're gonna knock Michael out and send him off screen so we can focus on these other teenage boys. Like, what?
Well, you were pretty sure that Mike wasn't gonna die because he's the main character. So basically, you just remove him from the equation, and then everyone else is fair game.
Everyone except for Sean.
Except that 3 years earlier we did off a kid.
Yeah, that's right. It's true. It's like you don't know. No one's safe on that point. Yeah, you're right. Because they could kill the forgotten. He's like the other 3 Jackson children. It's like they forget about the other children. There's a younger Brody child that no one ever talks about, and then when they got to 4, they're like, let's just kill him right away so we don't have to deal with him because we forgot about him. You forget about him in Jaws 3D, and you're like, yeah, maybe we should just kill him off because we're not going to need him.
Yeah. Incidentally, Jaws, by the transient property of Die Hard, Jaws: The Revenge is a Christmas movie.
Yep. Like Gremlins.
I see. Everyone's always every Christmas. Die Hard's the best Christmas movie. Everyone forgets Lethal Weapon 1 was a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie,
and it's a much better Christmas movie than Die Hard. For me personally, I love Mel Gibson too much to not.
Listen, the Addams Family starts with Christmas carols, so it's a Christmas movie. It wins. It's the best Christmas movie.
Speaking of Lethal Weapon, because I'm a huge Lethal Weapon fan. Okay.
Oh hell, me too.
Lethal Weapon 4, the beginning of the movie, there's a shark.
Yep.
There's a shark that Joe Pesci catches, and it's on the boat with them, and then the boat blows up, and Danny Glover and Joe Pesci are freaking out because they think the shark's going to get them.
Yep.
And last night I was trying to take pictures of my TV to see if there was actually a good scene with Joe Pesci and the shark, but I couldn't do it, and I was like, damn it, because like everything, once they get in the water, you can't really see the shark.
Yeah.
And like Mel Gibson's, meanwhile, is he's being a lethal weapon on the boat, and but
Mel Gibson's been a lethal weapon.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon 4.
I saw that.
Best shark movie.
Well, and let's take this back actually to Jason again too. Part 6. Part 6 has a blatant 100% Jaws homage to it, where the blonde, sexy blonde chick comes out. It goes down to the beach, strips down, runs into the water, does the same dive. There's the upshot from underwater where she's kicking her legs and then she's getting slammed back and forth. I mean, it's like Jaws. It's like, hey, let's just put Jaws in this movie. Let's make Jason Jaws.
6 degrees of Jason Voorhees.
Yes.
And we're all forgetting one of the best scenes ever involving a shark. Did we all forget about Zombie?
Zombie.
Oh yeah.
Zombie with the
Zombie versus the shark.
Film. Yeah. When I met Dan Mendoza, I was talking to him. I said, "What's your favorite?" Because he did Zombie Train. He was doing Zombie Train at the time. I was like, "What's your favorite zombie movie?" And he goes, Zombie or Zombie. They call it Zombie 2.
It's Zombie 2 actually.
Zombie 1 is actually Dawn of the Dead.
Yep.
So it's Zombie 2. And he goes, yeah, man, there's a whole scene about a shark attacking this zombie underwater.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a really and like, yeah, the movie shot really weird because like they obviously weren't supposed to be shooting in New York City, but they hit a camera on a boat, so there's shots of New York, but I'm pretty sure they didn't pay New York to film. It's like really gritty filmmaking.
Yeah, because they can't get the rights to do it.
So the Jaws franchise, well, not the franchise. I mean, Universal doesn't do anything, but they back in the day, and this was back. I discovered this when it was the 35th anniversary. It was 10 years ago. Yeah. They would do an occasional thing called Jaws Fest at Martha's Vineyard, and Jaws fans would just come in and they'd be like going around taking pictures at all because it's basically a time capsule. It's all still there, almost identical to what it was almost 50 years ago now. So I'm desperate to go. I'm dying to go.
Yeah.
Rumor has it. And unfortunately, she just passed a couple of years ago. But Mrs. Kintner, they used to, she was part of all these things, and people would go up. You'd get your signature and your autograph. Like, hey, I got a picture. People would go up to her and ask her to slap them across the face.
Oh my God, that's awesome!
And she would do it. And she felt so bad that she actually said, like, not long before she died, she's like, I'm not slapping any more people. I love all you guys so much. I can't keep hitting you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like Kane Hodder. Yeah. Like he'll choke people. But yeah, that's really great. I like that.
Awesome.
I like that a lot. Wow.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, oh, damn it. I missed an opportunity.
It's a very memorable slap. It's a slap that sticks with you. It's like, she lost her child. She's just like right across the face, pow, right in the kisser.
Beach slap.
Got him. Like, that's what you get, Chief.
Damn. Man, I should have done that.
Can you imagine me? Can you imagine being Richard Dreyfuss and just be like, can you say the lines? And it's like, well, what? Like, Richard Dreyfuss in a lot of movies, like, it's a tiger shark.
That's a tiger shark.
Tiger shark.
What?
Because Tom, you're like really tall, right? Are you like me? I'm like 6'6".
I'm 6'4".
Yeah. So like, could you imagine us like walking up to that little old lady and like, could you please slap us?
Here's $45. Slap me in the face right now.
Slap me right now. That gets you in trouble in New York.
See, and she was doing that all before like phones and stuff, where like no one had a phone to get it filmed or anything. Like they're just taking shots, man. There's no filming of any of this. Like it's.
Tom, weren't you telling me about the story about she went into a restaurant and the guy running the restaurant was the kid who played her son?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Oh damn.
And they hadn't seen each other since they filmed.
Oh wow. That's cool.
Yeah. And if you think about it, I mean, there's really virtually nobody left from that first movie now. Basically, everybody's gone. It's crazy. I know that that's what I'm saying. Like the kids, some of the younger ones, like I know Chrissy is still around. She does some touring and does some signing and stuff. Most of the kids from Jaws 2 are still around, but a few of them are not. But all the major players are out the door now.
Well, except for Richard Dreyfuss.
Except for Richard, he's hanging around.
Okay,
he's hanging around.
He's on the con circuit.
Is he really?
Richard Dreyfuss was doing shows the last couple of years.
Oh my gosh,
a lot of horror shows. He was at one of the ones. There was one that he was going to go to, but unfortunately got canceled. That I was really excited, but I heard like he just like he said in an interview, he's like, no one ever told me I should save my money.
Yeah.
He just blew all of his money, so now he's working cons just so he can get by, because no one's casting him in anything.
Well, he has a notorious reputation for being a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
Even at like the cons, like he's got a weird reputation.
The story between him and Bill Murray on What About Bob?
Oh, jeez.
They did What About Bob together, which I love. What About Bob? It's a great movie. There's so many quotes from that movie. Like I still quote to this day, and it's just like, yeah, they did not get along at all. But it could be. It's probably a little bit of both. It's not just Richard Dreyfuss's fault. I'm sure Bill Murray had some problems with Richard Dreyfuss as well. But Richard Dreyfuss had said that I hate Bill Murray so much just because I know he could still make me laugh.
Yep.
Like, he hates him that much. Like, as much as I hate him, he still makes me laugh. And there is a fish. There's not a, maybe not a Jaws reference, but there is a fish reference in What About Bob?
Yep.
Because he's got Gil.
Gil.
Yeah. Also, he's sailing in What About Bob? Richard Dreyfuss's character owns a boat, and they go sailing. So I mean, maybe a connection there. Yeah, they tie him to the mast. There's Richard Dreyfuss puppet in that movie. Wow, this turned into, let's talk about Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is, to me, Richard Dreyfuss exists in 3 movies: Close Encounters, Jaws, and American Graffiti.
Yep.
And I know nothing else about. And he's in the Piranha movie, but he's not really in it. He's just like a cameo.
So
that is like the extent of my Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss in the 1970s. There's nothing that he did in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. That's it.
I have no context of Richard Dreyfuss past Close Encounters.
Oh my God. Yeah, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Man.
Watch it.
I've seen that movie and
it's a nonsensical movie, man.
No,
it doesn't make any sense. It's a visual thing, but that shit doesn't make any sense.
Bright lights, Richard Dreyfuss making potato sculptures, Richard Dreyfuss getting really bad sunburn on his face, and then them just going with it.
Yeah, it doesn't. The problem, it's a good movie that has absolutely zero payoff.
Exactly,
and that's it.
Right.
Like, you don't understand why are the planes back? Why is anything happening? Oh, the aliens are coming.
They're back.
Okay, we're here. Here's all your guys that we stole back from 50 years ago. We'll give you all your dudes back. We want to trade you for some new guys now. Okay, bye.
God damn it.
There's no payoff.
That noise that they would play.
Yeah.
God damn, those aliens creeped me out when I was a kid, though. God.
With Richard Dreyfuss, and going back to Jaws, why did they cast all the 3 main cast members of Jaws? All of their names start with an R.
Yep.
Did you notice that? There's a theme there too. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe they were just good actors for the part.
So there's your answer. If you're going to reboot Jaws, you have to star 3 actors that all start with R.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Try to think of 3 actors that are famous today that all start with R.
Good luck. Good luck.
Because I can tell you, Chris Pratt's not going to be in your movie. Chris Evans not going to be in your movie. You can't cast Keanu Reeves unless you go by last. If we do the last names of R, you might have more of a chance. Keanu Reeves.
Keanu, no. Yeah, but Keanu Reeves in a Jaws movie.
He could be Brody. He could be Brody.
No.
Brody.
No.
But I want him to be Brody, but
failed casting.
Playing as Ted. Brody as Ted.
Oh God.
Like, Chief, there's a shark in the water. No way.
No way, man.
And then like that scene where he's doing the chum, and then the Jaws pops up, and he's like, we're gonna need a bigger boat. He's just gonna be like, and then do the whole Ted hair thing with his hair. He's just gonna be like, whoa, we're gonna need a bigger boat.
It just needs to be whoa.
People's like expecting in the theater going.
So now I want to remake Jaws ourselves and just put Keanu Reeves in the thing. That would be hysterical. Don't put Keanu Reeves in it. Put Bill in it.
Yes. Yeah. We'll get Bill, and then
we'll have Keanu Reeves. It's not Jaws starring Keanu Reeves. It's Jaws starring Bill.
We'll have Ted in there as the deputy. So he's not going to tag along, but it's going to be a nod. It's like any Matt Damon movie with Ben Affleck. It's like they're not going to be cast together as main characters, but if they're friends, so they're going to be like, huh, and they're going to be like, huh. Like it'll be like that scene in Hot Shots where Charlie Sheen and his dad are crossing paths, and they're like, "I love you in Wall Street," and then it's just going to be like, "I love you in Bill and Ted," and then it's like a blink and you miss it.
I love you, Wall Street.
Yeah. I love that so much, man. Also, like both those guys are in Vietnam movies. Probably the greatest Vietnam movies: Platoon, and Apocalypse Now.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's really crazy when you think about it. It's like this is my dad. He did Apocalypse Now, and then a couple of years later, then Charlie Sheen's doing Platoon, and Platoon wins the movie of the year that next year, and it's just like, what the hell? Vietnam movies, man. That's got to be a theme that we do one of these nights too.
Yeah, my favorite is now I'm not gonna remember what the hell it's called. Holy crap! It had Gene Hackman in it. Had Patrick Swayze in it. They go and try and rescue this guy's.
It's not Deer Hunter, is it?
No.
That's 21.
It has the black dude from Married with Children in it.
Oh,
he's also in it.
Let's get Harry.
Uncommon Valor.
Was it Uncommon Valor? Okay, there's one called
Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman. It's a great movie.
Wait. Did you say the black guy from Married? Are you talking about the guy who worked at the shoe store?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, what?
He's a helicopter pilot.
I've seen this movie.
It's called Uncommon Valor. It is fantastic. It is a great movie. Yeah, that's like my favorite of the Vietnam stuff. I mean, I like Platoon a lot too, but
Platoon.
I watched Platoon not long ago.
I like Platoon a lot because I can relate to it. Not because I'm not that old. I didn't serve in Vietnam. But I can relate to it from being a veteran and knowing other veterans that I served with that I can put as those characters. It's like everyone has a bunny. Everyone has a character that's like William Dafoe. Everyone has Tom Berenger. Everyone knows somebody in that movie, one way or another. You got the guys who like they're kind of bending the rules, smoking pot. Everyone knows those guys in the military. It's a very relatable movie, especially when you're a veteran, like not just a Vietnam veteran, just a veteran in general. You can relate to it somehow, some way. I don't know. Yeah, we definitely got.
That's good. I mean, that's authenticity. Yeah. I mean, and I think that's what part of what makes Jaws work is that even though it's like this, it's not real. I mean, it is. I mean, the size of Jaws is theoretically real. It's not oversized. Everything about the events and the place are real. There's really nothing that is, and I think that's one of the things that makes it so scary for folks is that all aspects of it are quote unquote real. Outside of, it's not going to jump up and eat your boat, but until that point, everything can technically happen. Like it's a real thing. If you swim out in the ocean, you can get your feet bit off, whatever.
I'm going to bite you.
It's
it's
good. I did have something ruined for me from Jaws recently. It's a small thing, but you guys remember as you're watching Jaws, there's a scene at night where the shooting star goes behind Brody.
Oh yeah.
I
for my entire life thought in my head and thought that I had read and known that was a legitimate real thing. Like they were filming and it just went and they literally caught lightning in a bottle. No, that shit's put in there.
Oh.
They put the star in there. I was like, no, because like in Tombstone, there's an interview with the I don't remember who it was, one of the directors or something, and in Tombstone they said that all of the lightning that you see in Tombstone is real.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, obviously, when they're inside, they fake lightning, but the external shots, they say that all the external shots of the lightning, that's real lightning. And so, I was kind of like, wow, they actually were shooting and they got a shooting star on camera. What happened? And they're like, nope, it's just put in there.
I love, that's another one we got to do Western movies.
Yeah.
Tombstone's awesome, man. Tombstone's one of my damn favorite movies. I will talk your leg off about Tombstone.
Let's wrap this up here, guys.
Yeah.
What is your top 5 shark movies?
Oh, right? Dude.
All right. And I'll give you guys a minute, and I'll go first.
Okay.
Although I think I might only have 4 in mind. Jaws is for me always starts. It is the top of the thing. I if it's on TV, I will watch it. It is forever number 1 for me, at least at this point. Number 2 is probably The Reef. If you've not seen The Reef, it's an Australian film, which is fantastic. It is super, super cool. It is super dramatic. The connection of the film from like the shark footage, like, because they did real shark footage, but then they blended it with the people footage. and it's really good. It's like really, really good. And you'll when the sharks are like jumping around the people, it's like, holy God, how are they doing this? It looks amazing. So that's 2. 3. Oh my God, I should have written this down. 3 for me. What the hell? I had these things in my mind and I just lost track of it because I was telling you all how the cool things about the Reef. I think that in the end, the Meg probably makes it. It'll probably slip in at 5 just because it's fine. It's a fun movie. It works. 3. Oh, Deep Blue Sea would probably be 3. I like Deep Blue Sea a lot. Do not watch the sequels. Do not watch the sequels. Do not.
Yeah, I saw they just came out with a new sequel to it, and I was like, I don't want to see that.
I saw the second one. It's just terrible.
Oh, wow.
I don't know about the third one. And then number 4. I think there's a lot of movies that can slide into this slot. One of the ones that I saw recently was called 47 Meters Down. This is really good, but I think The Shallows probably beats it out. So 4 would be The Shallows. 5 would be like the Meg, 47 Meters Down. There's a ton of movies that I like. They're shark movies that are garbage movies. Like we all know they're garbage movies, but they're fun to just watch. But they'll never make your top 5. Like here's your best movies. So yeah, and honestly, I think that Jaws 2 probably is honorable mention for that 5 spot.
He eats a helicopter.
I know, right? What else do you want? What else do you want in a shark movie? He eats a helicopter. So yeah, there's my rough 5. There's my rough 5. What do you got? What have you guys seen that I haven't seen?
Well,
or are we all going to have the same list?
I definitely Deep Blue Sea and the Meg are my top 3 for sure. You didn't say Shark Tales with that cartoon movie with Will Smith. It's a great animation film. No, that's not one of them. Definitely Deep Blue Sea, the Meg, Jaws, Sharknado. There's some savorable. I think the pop cultural, what they do with pop cultural actors who have not been in movies, since like their last big movie, show up in a lot of the Sharknado movies, and like it brought Tara Reid's career back. How crazy is that?
She's in another shark movie, by the way. Like it's straight to video. I can't think of what it's called, but if you look her up, she's in another shark movie, and it's not Sharknado. Yeah,
I'll be damned.
What about you, David?
Me, okay. The first 2 off the top is gonna be Jaws 1 and 2 for me. I'm sorry.
That's totally fair.
The third one, I have to say the third one would be Deep Blue Sea because I grew up on that one. I watched it quite a bit. The fourth one, Shallows, for sure. I love that one a lot. And there's one you forgot I'm gonna put for 5 because like I forgot about it. You guys probably forgot about it if you ever seen it. It's a movie called Open Water.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
it's loosely a shark movie.
It's loosely a shark movie.
Yeah. It's an interesting. See, I wouldn't place it just because I don't find it rewatchable.
No,
it's just kind of like we're bobbing in the ocean.
It was so boring when the age I was when I saw it like right after it came out, and I was so bored in that movie. I don't think I'll ever the only thing honestly there's 2 things I remember from that movie. One, there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where you see the chick who gets eaten. You get to see her naked. I remember that because I was a young guy. I was like, this is awesome. I like this scene in the movie. And then the rest of the movie, I was like, this is just bad. And like then her crying and then just taking off all the things and then just drowning herself is just like, okay.
And yeah, I'd say probably once I see the Meg, it'll probably replace it.
Dude, you'll love the Meg. You'll like it. You'll like it a lot.
I'll watch it. I'll probably watch it this weekend.
So we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna give you a story here.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap this up. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture because that would just help all of this so much. I'm probably not going to be able to find one, but I'll show you this. So this is 47 Meters Down, the sequel. This is the sequel.
Oh, geez.
I I saw the trailer for that one actually.
Yeah.
Don't watch this movie. Just watch the original. Just watch the original. Don't watch this movie. But I went and saw it with Allison Lear. Okay, I was hanging out with her and we were like, let's go see a movie. I was like, okay, let's see because I saw the first one. I liked it. I was like, are you okay with shark movies? She's like, yeah, that's cool. Let's go see this. So you see that girl in the white bathing suit in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's in that bathing suit basically for the whole movie as they're swimming around underwater, right?
Right.
And so we're watching the movie, and she, spoiler alert, she ends up getting chomped by the shark. She's the first one to go. Okay, there's your spoiler for the movie. When we get out of the movie, and she and I are talking about it, she's like, "Did you like it?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, it wasn't as good as the first one. It's kind of crappy." She was like, "Yeah, it's kind of weird and kind of blah blah blah." And we're talking about it. She's like, and it was so obvious that girl was going to die first because through the whole movie, her ass was eating that bathing suit. And every time you see her, that bathing suit is just rammed up her butt. And I was like, that might be the greatest like movie, reference for a review of all time. I was lying on the ground hysterical. I was like, that is awesome. That is awesome. So that is that is 47 meters down, the
sequel.
47 meters down to 48 meters down.
Yeah,
48 meters down.
That would have been much funnier. That would have been a much funnier title. That would have been great.
They could have just done 48 meters, like Menace to Society. I thought Menace to Society was a sequel to Menace to Society. So I never saw the original Menace to Society, but I've only seen Menace to Society.
That's funny. Okay, guys. So we're gonna wrap up tonight. This is gonna be kind of our new format. We're gonna do about a 90-minute show.
So good.
I've got to get prepped up for my live sale show that we're having at midnight, which will be about 20 minutes from now. If you guys want to jump over to the Comic Book Shopping Network, I will be there. David and Jim and I will figure out what we're going to do next week for episode 5.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good because we need ideas. But then the following week, week 6, guys, week 6. Or wait a minute, is it the following week? I got to make sure.
Are we doing an episode for Black Friday weekend?
Yeah, so it is 2. What?
Yeah.
Are we doing an episode of Black Friday weekend?
Sure, we can.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
The 29th? That's fine.
Yeah, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm not traveling for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we can do it. But then on the 6th, on December 6th, we will be back here again. We will be talking horror. We will be talking Jason. We will be talking with Adam Marcus, the actual director of Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I was in the shower today. Spoiler alert. I was in the shower today, just like thinking of questions to ask this guy. I'm like, what do I ask Adam Marcus?
I've had my questions. Once you said that he was coming on, I was like, I got to get questions. I've had my questions for like 2 weeks now. I was like, these are the best questions ever. And watch, one of you guys are going to ask the question and be like, damn it, that was my question. But I got some good ones that I don't think people would I'm sure he probably has never been asked, at least probably not very, like probably the least amount of questions.
I'll probably have like 2 or 3 questions. The rest of it will be.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, because I told him that we would be happy to promote anything that he has going on.
Oh yeah.
He sent me a little link. He has a movie out right now called Secret Santa, which is apparently on Amazon or Hulu. Do a Google search for Secret Santa.
Okay.
It is a new movie that is available for you guys to watch right now. If you want to watch that prior to him coming on, we'll talk about Secret Santa as well as Jason and whatever else. I got to do a little deep dive into his career and see what he's been up to. We'll talk about him. We'll talk about Jason, his thoughts on the franchise, whatever else he's doing. And that will be December 6th, folks. December 6th. Join us for show. All right. So David and Jim, awesome time. This was cool. As always, we will we'll do this again next week. The unscripted show, did he say he was doing one this coming week?
I don't think so. I don't think we're doing. No, we're taking next week off, and we're coming back December 5th for a big show. I think, and that's the last show. That's the last show of the year until the new year.
Okay. All right.
On December 5th.
Okay. So there will be I mean, I guess we'll try if people are around. There will be a Big Dog Inc. fan night on Friday night. We'll still plan to do it. Jim, David, you're welcome to join if you want to jump in. Those that are watching us, if you want to be a part of the show, actually in the show, you're welcome. Just shoot me a message. Otherwise, you can come chit chat with us. Thanks, Shawnee. We appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good time with this stuff. It's always fun to just kind of talk movies and have a good time. One of these days, we should probably talk comics. Because we all kind of have some aspect of comics in our life too. We could talk about comic book movies because that's there's a lot of them.
That's a big night. That's probably an ongoing series.
That'll be like a part 1, and we'll come back to some more. Cool, guys. So we're gonna let you all go. Thank you so much for joining us, Terry. I didn't even know you were here, but thank you for coming. We will announce what we're going to do next week once we figure it out. But remember, Adam Marcus will be here on December 6th, talking Jason again. So we always get Jason in the show somehow. Always have Jason in there. And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one.